Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Tiger Knits. I am your host, Claire, and I am based in the UK. You can find me on Instagram as Claire M. Gallagher. You can find me on Ravelry as cgallagher21. I'm also on Twitter as Claire M. Gallagher, and I have a blog called Uncia and Digris, which I will link below. So, hi everyone. How are you doing on this lovely sunny Saturday this morning? I'm sitting in front of my window, so I'm a bit washed out. I apologise. It was really foggy this morning. And I sort of, basically, I'm on holiday next week from work. So I thought I will just have a really cosy lie-in this morning. I went to see a friend last night for dinner and we just ended up talking quite late and I didn't get home until about midnight. And I was exhausted and I thought I just want a really cosy morning, wake up about 8, half 8 and just sat in bed and did some knitting, ate hot cross bun, watched some podcasts, and it's been lovely. And the fog has started to lift, which makes me think I want to go out somewhere this afternoon now, so I may do that. Yes, what's new? I have this time a cup of tea, not a cup of tea, a cup of coffee. That's what it is, in my lovely owl mug. So I hope you've all got something to drink. Normally I just have water because I'm trying to do this thing where I drink a lot of water. My hair looks state this morning. I'm going to the gym in a minute, so I couldn't bother to do anything with it. Well, I say in a minute, I'm going to the gym this morning. Where was I going? Yes, I'm trying to do this thing where I drink a lot of water. I have this big bottle that's like this size and it's next to my bed. It's got hair ties around it at the moment. But I'm trying to drink a lot of them because I don't really drink enough water, especially when I'm at work, and then I get really bad headaches. So I'm trying to make sure I drink more water and just up my water intake in general. But yeah, that's why I don't normally have a hot drink. But this morning I thought I will. And this is just some coffee I made, but we bought some of that gold top milk to make some quiche this week, and I had a little bit left over, so I put it in my coffee and it tastes so good. I never buy full fat milk ever, really. I know there's not really much difference in it between skim milk. Sorry, a giant magpie has landed on my neighbour's aerial and lots of others have just followed. Yeah, I don't really buy full fat milk. I generally, like, it's a treat if I buy myself green milk because I don't think there's much in it. They don't taste much different. And I just don't want to be drinking extra calories if I can help it. But it's a Sunday. It's not a Sunday, it's a Saturday. It's a Saturday morning. So yeah, I hope you're all very well. Like I said, I'm on holiday next week. I'm actually off to Amsterdam for a couple of days, which I'm very excited about. Probably should be getting ready instead of podcasting. I've got to do a bunch of boring things, like I've got to find my passport, I've got to buy some travel insurance, I've got to go and get some euros, I haven't got any euros, and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'll do it. It'll get done today. It will get done later today. It's only 10 to 12 though, actually. I didn't realise it was that time. God, I'll keep thinking it's about 11 in the morning, but no, it's not 10 to 12. Yes. Put this down for now. I've got my coaster is this, ooh, one of these little agate slices. Dropped it on my foot. And my friend got me these because we saw them in a shop, I think maybe like Anthropology or somewhere like that, and they were really expensive, and she found some agate slices, so I've got a couple. I've got one on my desk and this one sits next to my bed, so if I plonk it down with a bit of a clink, that's what it is. Okay, so works in progress, I guess then. Yeah, I haven't really been able to knit very much these last couple. I say that, I have one finished object and some other stuff, so I feel like I've not knit very much. I feel like I've not made much progress. But I'll show you the thing that I've been working on most of all in this lovely bag my mum made for me. So she bought this fabric and made me a big bag for Christmas, and she had some blue stuff as well, and she was going to make me this for Christmas and sort of ran out of time. And then I said I wanted one this style, and so she made one. So it's got little boxes on. You can see it's really cute. She sort of quilted it a bit, and then it's got a long like zipper on, which sort of works as a handle, and it also means it opens quite wide. So if you've got a ball of yarn in it, it opens quite big like that. It doesn't shut up at the edges, which is really good. So in here I've got something I'm knitting from this. I think I talked about this last knitting podcast. My last knitting podcast. I don't have to say knitting podcast every time. On my last podcast that I was going to have a go at making this, and I'm doing the Caswell Bay hat. I'm trying to find the picture that hasn't got the pattern next to it. This hat here, because I really like these little arrowy patterns on it. I am knitting it in a slightly smaller, thinner yarn, lighter weight yarn than the pattern calls for. So I'm hoping it's going to come out okay. I did a swatch and then it was about right. And then I unravelled the swatch. Dropped my ball of yarn. But let me just wind this up. And I apologise, by the way, for my creaky chair. It annoys me. But it's what I've got. I'll work with what I've got. So here it is. This yarn is absolutely gorgeous. It is the... Oh, I love it so much. I want to knit a whole jumper out of this. Fibre Baits Vivacious 4-ply 100% superwash merino in the colour 615 Lundy Island. And I don't think you can see it as well in the last podcast, but it's got this beautiful greeny tones to it, sort of greeny browny tones, and it's very shiny and subtle. I love it. So I'm knitting this hat. I don't really ever want to knit any more twisted rib in my life after doing this. It's coming out okay. My stitches aren't particularly neat, but it's only for me, so I'm not too fussed. But yeah, I love the rippled, the effect this yarn gives. It looks like the sea. I'm obsessed with it. It's really nice to knit with, and I've been about this far through. I'm not entirely sure when I started it. I think I started it last weekend. That sounds about right, last weekend. Because I finished one of my finished objects pair of socks, and then I cast this on straight away, so I think it must have been last weekend, and they took me a week to make, so yes, last weekend. So I've done quite a bit, I think, in the time, maybe. Don't really know what you think. And yeah, plodding along. I quite like it. It's really lovely yarn to knit with. It's so so soft, and the colour is just absolutely gorgeous. I think if I like how this knits up, I'm going to buy some more yarn and make the matching mittens, because they're lovely as well. Just try and find it. I don't know if you can see that there. There's some matching mittens, and I think that would be really beautiful. And then I'm tempted to make some socks as well from it, because the colour is that beautiful. So yes, the pattern that I'm knitting is the Caswell Bay one from the Take Heart book by Fiona Alice. I bought this at Unravel a couple of weekends ago. God, it's almost a month ago now. Jeez. And yeah, I'm just plodding along with that. I've got some other junk in the bottom of my project bag, which needs to be taken out, but there we go. That's sort of what I'm trying to work through at the moment. So I'm getting on with that. And I really love this bag. It's really sweet. And I just sort of like lump all my stuff in it and carry it around with me. The other thing I've made a bit of progress on is my Cozy Memories blankets, or sock yarn scrap blanket as I'm calling it. So let me just pull out some of my stuff in here. I think I started showing you this last time and my camera cut off, so I'll try and do a bit more of an overview of this. So please excuse the fact I've not sewn in a bunch of ends. Ta-da! It's got bigger. I think you can probably see what I'm doing. I'll hold it the right way up. I'm knitting it in a square, so I'm trying to always go like this. So even if I get fed up of it, which I know I will, I'll hopefully be square-ish or near a square. I know obviously the bigger it gets, the harder that is, but that's the aim anyway. So here it is. I've got a few ends to weave in because, oh actually that says some scraps. That's a bit better than I thought. Because I gave up, basically. This yarn looks amazing on camera. This is, I do have the ball here of it. Something that Hobbycraft is selling at the moment. It's one of the Regia Forfardig, Forshade, Forfardig, Forfly, I don't know what that Forfardig means. Yarns, and it's this colour. Shade 5025. A lovely name there, Regia. And it knits up like this. I think I'm going to knit my friend some socks out of this because it looks amazing. She's quite, she likes pink and colours, girly colours, not like me. And I think I'm going to knit her some socks out of this because I've never knit her anything. She's a newish friend, I work with her, and I was at her house last night for dinner. And I think she will really like that. And she's only got tiny feet, she's like quite small. Because I don't know if you know, I'm 5'10"3/4", so I'm quite tall and I've got quite large feet. So I don't hate knitting socks for myself, but they're not quick. So I think if I knit some socks for her, that'd be really quick, it'd be really nice. So that is the plan of that one. I think last time I had a few missing here. So this one is a, let's move some of my threads out of the way so you haven't got them all in shot. This one is Pistachio by Jamieson's Shetland Spindrift, that's it as well, hence the sh noise. That's that one. This is Bergère de France. It's the same as this one here, but the way it had been wound it's meant I got a different bit of the colour, which I quite like. This is a blue Regia one, which my mum had, and it was really nice, and I thought I would put a bit of that in my blanket. This is that Regia one I was telling you about. This is another Regia one. It is, again, it's just got the same Forfardig, I don't know the colour name, but it looks like this. I love it. My mum's actually knit me a pair of socks from this, which is really good. Well, she's knit one sock, she's on the second one. Yeah, I really love this. It's so bright, and I didn't think this would be very me in the ball, but actually knitted up, it's so fun. I can't not like it. And this is another Jamieson's Shetland Spindrift colour. And yeah, it's coming along. I'm actually getting into it a lot more than I think I would. I'm excited to work on it, and I think that's the main thing. It's not as neat. I was watching the Bakery Bears podcast this morning, and Kay's pink and purple one, girly one, is so neat and so perfect. All the squares are exactly the same size. They're all absolutely perfect. Her tension is great, and they're so neat. And I look at this and think, this is not like that, but it doesn't mean it's not had any more love. So yeah, and I thought it would be a really cute thing. I might even give it to someone for a present. I don't know if anyone would appreciate it though. That's the thing. I think my mum would quite like it. She's into her patchwork, but yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. And that's plodding along, and I need to sew some ends in, or I never will, and then I'll be annoyed. And it's still small enough to fit in my little kitty cat project bag, so it stays in there for now, and when it's too big for there, it will come out. And this will be my next cast on project. There's some socks made out of this. So that's that. The only other project I've got on the go, I did show you last week, and it hasn't really progressed too much because I've been knitting on some other things for my finished objects and that hat. So I have been working on other things and maybe not as solidly on this blanket, but it's progressed a little bit. I didn't think it would progress at all, but I watched my other podcast, which was about 3 weeks ago, and I've actually done a section, not a good amount, but a bit. I have progressed. So I thought I would show you in this bag my mum made me. It's getting quite weighty now. And what I did actually do was I caked up a bunch of the yarn. I got my Yarn Swift out to do the yarn for that hat. And I thought, whilst I'm here, I'm just going to do all the remaining balls of this yarn. So I think it's all of them that I've done. I might have one left. So I caked up a whole load of this yarn. I've got these three, and then this one had a bit of a problem. It kept getting snagged, so it's not as neat, but it's there. So there we go. I've caked up a whole load of yarn, ready to go. And I have worked on this a little bit. Ooh, another one. I think last time I'd only done up to here, so that's quite a bit extra done. So actually there's quite a lot more. I didn't think I'd done that much on it, so good for me. This is my Sunshine chevron stitch blanket, baby blanket by Knit Picks, and I spoke a bit more about it in last week's podcast, but it's coming along, it's getting there. I'm now about halfway through my second ball, so that's about halfway of the whole blanket, so it's plodding along. It's one of those ones that I do pick up and put down in between projects, and that's sort of why I have it on the needles, because it's not a quick project. I've not fallen out of love with it yet, and it's something that I can just pick up and put down like while I'm working. Right, I'm back. My camera decided to cut off again, which is what happened in my previous podcast. However, I actually bothered to look at where it kept saying I've had no memory like the last week or so, and I was getting really frustrated with it. I say camera, I mean phone. I'm using it as a camera. And it kept saying I had no memory, and I was getting really frustrated because I have a lot of pictures on there, but they're not as many as enough to warrant it not doing anything. And I realised it's because I've got really into podcasts. I downloaded a few podcasts and saved them to my phone to watch at the gym, as you do, and I hadn't deleted them, so they were taking up so much space, and so I've just made about 5 GB worth of space on my phone, so that should help things, and that might improve my general performance on my phone, which, there we go. So like I was saying, I had this on the needles to pick up and put down in between other projects, and it means I don't have to think about something when I still want to be working on something. Sometimes you have to go and buy the needles, you have to go and buy the yarn, or find the yarn in your stash, find the needles, things like that, and just do some swatches. And it's just quite nice to still be able to keep doing something in between whilst you're figuring stuff out. So that's why I still have it going, and I'm loving it still. I've not fallen out of love with it yet, which is a bit weird because I do tend to do that when I work on things consistently. But yeah, now I've got all my yarn caked up, it's sort of like the incentive to see this reduced down. But it's so nice, it's so neat. And actually I found the ball band for this whilst I was doing something today, so I can tell you exactly what it is. It's the Rowan Creative Linen in shade 621, which I seem to remember is called Natural. It's this one here. And it is 50% linen and 50% cotton. And made in Peru, apparently. And yeah, I'm really in love with it. Each ball is 100 grams and 200 meters approximately, so that's not too bad. So, God, I've knit 2,000 meters into this jumper then, or into this blanket or whatever. That's a lot of yarn. So I've got 10 balls of it. So there we go. That is my works in progress. So I thought I would move on to some finished objects. So what I was knitting on previously was, this is something I've cast on and finished in between podcasts, which seems weird. I didn't think I'd knit these that fast, but they are a pair of bright socks. These are from some of that Regia Full Faded colour stuff, and they're not on blockers. I don't have sock blockers or anything like that, so I just do as best as I can. But yeah, I did a ribbed sock, I don't know if you can see, and I did a short row heel, which I'm obsessed that I can do them now. I went to that sock knitting, I keep saying I'm sorry, I went to that sock knitting workshop with Rachel Coopy at Unravel, and she did some amazing instructions on how to do it. And like I said, I knew the basics of it, but I just found it really hard to work out how to pick up the stitches and things like that, so I love it. Here's the heel, it's so neat, it's so quick. I'm going to do all the toe-up socks now in the world. These were cuffed down, but I want to do some scrappy socks, mismatched ones, and I want to do them toe up. So that's going to be my next project, I think, to cast on after I've knit something out of this. So yeah, I start these in the car on a Sunday, and I think I finish them the next Saturday. Yeah, pretty pleased with these. They were super quick to knit. I did them on my new Chiagus, which I'm not going to be able to find for the life of me, so I'm not even going to bother trying. But I loved them. They just zoomed along. The cable is amazing. They were exactly sharp enough. There was no drag. Perfect. Because I had been knitting on some 2.25 Knit Pro Symphonies, and they were fine. I don't mind them. I'm just not a wooden needle person. So the Chiagus were 2.75s, which is a little bit bigger, but these I did a smaller stitch count because these are probably for me. And I think I'm going to get some smaller Chiagus because they were amazing. I love them. So there we go. I've knit a pair of socks in a week. It's pretty good. And this was my February pair of socks because I'm trying to knit a pair a month. I'm sort of going along with that box of socks cow, but I'm not really. I'm just sort of dipping in and out and looking at it occasionally, that Villenvine Kristen is doing. I'm just mostly doing some socks this year. I want to knit 12 pairs of the year because I love knitting socks and I love giving them to people, and this will be a pair. So I will send these across to my friend once I've made them. It's her birthday in the summer, so I think she'll get them as a birthday present. But yeah, I think you really like these. So that's the next thing on the needles. But yeah, pair of socks for me. And I love this heel. I think the next thing I'm going to try is the Fish Lips Kiss heel, which apparently is a bit of a neater way of, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, sorry. Yeah, apparently it's a neater way of picking up the stitches. So it's only $1 apparently, so I'm going to look into that, and I'm quite excited. But yeah, I think this colour I looked online and it's called Brazil. It's pretty fun. It's not really the colours I would normally pick, but I quite like them. They remind me sort of like Harry Potter socks for some reason. Like, I don't really know, I feel like this is something that the guys in Harry Potter would wear. It seems like very like homespunny, and I like that. Yeah, so those are my oh, I've got all like coldy now when I've sneezed. Oh, how weird. Maybe it's the fluff. So that's my pair of socks. I'm loving them. The other thing I've sort of finished is, do you remember these little birds I was knitting? I finished them. So this was out of all my, I've put them on a needle because I thought this is the best way I could show you. So I've just sort of tied them onto this needle here. I've knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 little birds of happiness. And I think they're so adorable, they make me so happy. I'm going to, what I need to do now, it's a bit warmer outside, a bit lighter. I'm going to go out in the garden and get some sticks and maybe 2 or 3, tie them together with some yarn and hang these off them. And then I've got like a hook in my ceiling up there, I've got like an incense thing in it at the moment, and I'm going to hang this from them because I think it's absolutely lovely. And these are out of all sorts of Shetland Spindrift, Jamieson's Shetland Spindrift. So some of the colours that I can remember, this is Purple Heather. This one I think is Autumn. This is Burnt Umber. One of them is Pistachio, this one is Pistachio. I think this one might be Grouse or Peat or something. What are the colours are? One of these is like Copper or Sunrise. This one might be Peat or Heather. One of these is Bracken. Yeah, they're all on my Ravelry page, my stash page if you want to have a look at them, because I put them all on there for some reason. Don't know why, but that's I'm calling this finished even though I've still got to hang it up. But hopefully next time I will have it all completed to show you. And it's just been sitting in my living room like this, and my dad is not a fan. But there we go. So that is my finished objects. And I think that's really everything I've got to talk about. I don't think I've bought anything new. This yarn I have, but I sort of had this lying around, I think, before. I just didn't show you because I had a lot of stuff from Unravel to talk about with you. And yeah, I think, like I said, that what I really want to do is do some scrappy socks, which I'll show you. Let me twine it with a little bit of ball. So this is the bag, it seems only like crinkles and shininess, but this is the bag I was keeping all my bits of yarn in for my sock yarn blanket, and most of these I've put in there now, so I don't really know what to do with it. And I thought they would make like a really good scrappy sock. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I've got some nice bits in here. I've got some of this bright stuff. I think it would make a really fun little blanket. I've got some sparkly wool in here, which was for a project I'm going to make my friend a pom-pom with because she loves pom-poms. Some Arne and Carlos in here. Some Bergère de France. Some Regia. That's a bit of opal, I think. Yeah. It's all where I'm just keeping all my bits of... They're not really ends, they're a bit bigger than ends, but they're ends, and I don't really know what to do with them, so they're all sitting in this bag for now until I can work out what to do with them. But I think that's going to be a sock, and I think that's going to be my next project, potentially. The other thing I want to do is knit a jumper, and I wanted to talk about it here, so let me just find the Ravelry page where I'm talking to, because I want to buy the yarn for it. I was going to do this last weekend, but it was a bit close to Comfort to Unravel, where I'd spent a lot of money on some very nice yarns. My voice has gone all croaky. My coffee has gone cold. It's finished now. This is the project. It's called The September Morn by Thea Coleman. I'm going to try and show you a picture of it, but it's on my laptop screen, so it might not work. It looks like that. And that's what I want to knit next. So I'm going to go out and buy the yarn for that. There's a shop in Alton, which is not far from me, which sells drops yarn, and I think that's what I'm going to make it out of. But I'm going, like I said, I'm on holiday next week, and I'm going to Amsterdam, and I know there is a yarn shop there called Stephen and Penelope, which I think is Stephen West Knits. So I'm going to be spending some money in there. If I can drag my friend in. She normally doesn't mind going in a yarn shop, so it's fine. I won't spend up too much time. And yes, I'll see what I spend on them on holiday, and then I think when I come back I will buy the yarn for that project because it just looks so lovely and squishy. So says you need up to 1,950 yards of a worsted weight yarn or an Aran weight. So I think I measured myself, and I think I would only need the lower end, which I think is about 1,100 yards of yarn. That's the word. And I think I'm going to do it in a similar colour. I love the roll neck. I think I was wearing a roll neck jumper, or like a turtleneck jumper on my last podcast, and I wear them quite a lot, and I thought if I start it now I'll be ready for the autumn. And I do have a jumper I've knit for myself, but it's not it's a Lopieza, one of those Icelandic yoked ones, and it's made out of Alafoss Lopi yarn, and it's beautiful, but it's so incredibly hot. Like, you have to wear it in Iceland basically. I can see why they wear them, and I wore it once when it was snowing outside and it was amazing. It kept me so warm, and I think I wore it when my heating was broken actually as well in my house. Yes. I remember just sitting in bed wearing this big jumper, but it's the kind of thing you have to wear when it's so cold outside, and really it doesn't get that cold here. I live in Hampshire in the south of the UK. It's not even like we get a lot of rain or a lot of snow like you guys do in the north. I mean, we had like one winter a couple of years back and it was really, really snowy, really cold, and that's when I knit it, and since then I've just not been able to wear it. Where was that? Yes, I've knit this jumper, but it's only the kind of thing that I can wear when it's really cold outside, and I wanted to knit something that I could wear a bit more often, so I think this is what I'm going to knit. I had a look at the pattern, I bought it, and it all looks like stuff that I can do, and it looks like a very well written pattern as well, because I've tried to knit some other patterns I've seen on Ravelry and they haven't been necessarily the most well written. And she's also got another one, Thea Coleman, that I really want to knit, which is called Gin and Tonic, which is another roll neck jumper with like a cable detailing down the side, like here, and a moss stitch or a seed stitch type pattern. But yeah, that's the next project that's going to be on the needles. So some scrappy socks, some socks with my friend, and a jumper, I think. So yes, like I said, I think I've spoken a bit about what I'm doing. I'm going on holiday next week, and I'm quite looking forward to that. So this weekend is just sort of getting crap done. I need to do some boring stuff like go to the bank when I'm back as well, and be an adult. It's not fun. And then I go back to work on the 21st, and then it's 2 4-day weeks, which is really nice because it's Easter weekend, and I don't know if everywhere does a bit of a long Easter bank holiday weekend. So I finish work on the Friday the 25th, I think it is, and I don't get back until Tuesday after, which is really nice. And in my old job I used to work every bank holiday weekend because it was retail, and that's what you do. You don't get holidays. You don't get bank holidays and you don't get Christmases. So you just work. And this job is office based, so we're shut over bank holiday weekend, and it's so lovely. Like, the novelty of it is not worn off yet, which is a bit weird because I've worked there a year now. But it's my first, well, actually no, it must have been, depends what Easter was last year actually. I might have got it off last year because I've actually been at my job a year at the end of this month, which is crazy to me because it's just flown by, and I still feel like I'm brand new and I don't know what I'm doing there. So it's a bit odd. But yeah, and I think I'll wrap it up now. I don't think I've got much to say. I'm just sort of rambling on about holidays and Easter. So I hope you all have a lovely Easter. I know it's a couple of weeks away, but I don't know if I'll get a podcast up before then. The magpies are back. Oh, magpies, you're so pretty, but you are so annoying. Because I've got my room is like the corner of the house, and we've got like this wooden, I don't know what you call it, like fascia, don't know how you say that word, along the top of the roof, and the magpies like to peck at the insects in it, and wake me up at 6:30 in the morning. And they're really, really annoying. And we blocked it off. We got some wood and blocked it off, but apparently they still like to get in there. So I think that's it. I've got to go to the gym. I'm wearing my sports gear underneath it already because that's the only way to motivate me to go, is to put it on straight away. And I'm going to miss a couple of days because I'm on holiday next week, so I'm only going to miss like 2 sessions, but it's my 2 favourite Pilates classes that I'm going to miss. So it's okay, it's only 2 classes, but I've got so into the gym, it feels weird to miss it. And I've become one of those boring people that all they do is talk about the gym and exercise and Pilates, but it's what I like to do. So yes, I'll wrap it up now because I literally am just rambling, and I would like to thank everyone that has taken the time to watch these videos so far. I know this is only the second one. I think I may start a group on Ravelry. I don't really know. I don't think I've got enough people to warrant doing that yet, but I'm hoping I do. I've got like 8 people subscribed to me on YouTube already. This is bizarre. Like 8 people have decided to sign up to watch me ramble about knitting for 40 minutes. So thank you, you lovely people. But why? No. And yes, please go follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. I love to talk to people, interact with people, so just come leave me a comment and I will be as friendly as possible. Yeah, come talk to me about knitting. And if you're watching this, leave any of your links below in the comments or anything like that, because I would love to see them. And that is definitely it now. Right, have a lovely weekend wherever you are, if it's a weekend, whenever you're watching this. I hope it's as sunny as it is here because it's so nice outside today. Now the fog is gone. I'm even tempted to go for a run and not go to the gym, but we shall see. That's a good idea, maybe I'll do that. And yes, bye everyone.